Alright, on this video, we're going to kind of piggyback on the last video, but we're only going to look at problems where the last number is negative. And in fact, again, on these note sheets, it kind of gives you a thinking process to the right of the problem. So, like right here, this right here is like everything that you should be thinking. Since this last number is a negative, right? It says the last sign's negative, so the signs are going to be different. Okay, the middle sign, since it says this middle sign's also a negative, when we get the numbers, the larger number is going to need that negative sign. All right, now here's what you're asking yourself. What are two numbers that multiply to give us 20? But now, since this last number is a negative, and also subtract to give us 1. Because it's like saying there's a 1 right there with that x. And we did this. We did this on the last one. 5 times 4, that works. It multiplies to give us 20, and it subtracts to give us 1. But since this number here is a negative, the bigger number 5 goes with that negative. All right, and then the quick check is, if you add negative 5 and 4, it gives us negative 1. If you multiply negative 5 and 4, it gives us negative 20. All right, okay, let's move to the second one. I'll even make this bigger right here. So number 2, the very first thing I see, this last number is a negative. So look, I know these signs are going to be mixed. So guys, all your homework tonight, you're always going to have x plus, x minus, because all the ones you're going to be given, the last number is a negative. All right, now this one, it's saying the middle sign's a positive. So when we get the numbers in here, the larger number is going to go right here with the positive. So then we're asking ourselves, okay, you can kind of see, it says, what two numbers multiply to give us 12, but subtract to give us 4? Well, if I list all my factors at 12, it's listed over here where I have space. I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. All right, then it says subtract to give us this 4. Well, the 6 and the 2 work. All right, now, since this is positive 4, since it's a plus, the bigger number 6 is going to go with the positive. So it's going to be x plus 6, x minus 2. All right, and to check, 6 plus negative 2 is 4. That works. And positive 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. All right. Okay, if I go down to 3, again, I see this last number is a negative. So if a product's a negative, they have to be opposite signs. Positive times a negative gives us a negative. So this is what we're asking ourselves. What are factors of 20 whose difference is 8? Which means it subtracts to give us 8. So 20, when I list all the factors, all right, I'm going to have 1 times 20, 2 times 10, right? 3 doesn't go into 20, but 4 goes into it. 4 times 5. Say, which one of these gives us a difference of 8? Well, out of these 3 pairs, this does, right? 10 minus 2. Now it matters where we put the 2 and the 10. Is the 2 going to be positive or the 2 going to be negative? This gives it away. Since that middle sign's a plus, the bigger number, which is 10, is going to go with the plus. So we're going to put the 10 with the plus, 2 with the negative. Okay, and again, if you checked, if you added these, positive 10 plus negative 2 gives us this positive 8, and positive 10 times negative 2 gives us this negative 20. All right, let's go down and just do the bottom 4. All right. Now, you notice that all of these, every single one of these, the last number, the constant, is a negative. So this is what you can do right away. And you can do this on the homework. I see that's a negative 18, negative 12, negative 15, negative 24. So the signs for all of these is going to be plus, minus, for every single one of these. Right? Plus and then minus. Right? They're all going to be mixed because the product, if the product is negative, then the two numbers in there have to be opposites because a positive times a negative gives us a negative. Now, since this is a squared, we're just going to start off with a. Since this is y squared, we start off with y. Since this is x squared, we have x. And then since this is b squared, we have b for the first term. And then since this is negative 18, I'm going to get all my factors for 18. 1 and 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. So since this is negative, now we're asking ourselves which of these pairs of factors subtract to give us 7. And 2 and 9 do. Right? 9 minus 2 is 7. But now, since this is, that middle term's a negative, the bigger number here, which is 9, is going to go with the negative. So it's going to be a minus 9 and a plus 2. Again, to check, 2 minus 9 gives us this, negative 7. 2 times negative 9 gives us negative 18. All right, if I go to the next one, all right, so if I list all my factors of 12, I have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So now since this last one's a negative, we're asking ourselves, which of these three pairs of factors gives us a difference of, this is like saying 1y, and it's this, 4 and 3. Now since this is positive 1, the bigger number 4 is going to go with the plus. So it's y plus 4, y minus 3. All right. Kind of like the last one. Once you get like the first couple, you can just roll with this and get these real quick. Okay, for 3, and my only factors for 15 are 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. So since this last one's a negative, we're asking ourselves which of these two pairs gives us a difference of 2, and it's this, 3 and 5. Since that first sign's a positive, the 5 is going to go with the plus, and the 3 goes with the negative. So that's our answer. Remember, you can FOIL all these out. If you FOIL all these out, you should end what you started with. All right, move this over to 4. For 4, again, I get my factors of 24, which I have a little bit more of. I have 1 in 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. The more factors you have, the more thinking involved. All right, so since this last one's a negative, we're asking ourselves, which of these pairs of factors subtract to give us 2? Well, 4 and 6 do. And since this first sign's a negative, the bigger number out of 4 and 6, which is 6, is going to go with the negative. So we're going to have b plus 4 times b minus 6. All right, so main thing out of all these problems on the video and all the problems from the homework, since this last sign's a negative, we're going to have mixed signs on the inside.